What's going on, everybody? It's time to go over the trades for today. 4 trades, 4 winners, but there were multiple trades in there on a few of them, some of which were losers. I think the best lesson to learn today was on the MES futures, so I'm going to spend most of my time on that, but we will go over the other ones. We'll go over these charts. We'll go over what I did on NBY. So, NBY, I was watching this. I think a lot of us were watching this pre-market. I wanted to see what it would do. So, 413 was yesterday's high, and it was by far the most important level in my mind. So, I took a very small position. It was like 200, 100 shares pre-market, and I just wanted to see how it would react at the open. Now, I should have had a stop right here at these lows, but I didn't. I was just focusing more on a big position, a big move, because I knew this would whip like crazy. Now, what I did here was I caught this. I used 2,000 shares at 350, and I wanted to sell it up towards a move of this low, 393, and maybe 413. But I told myself that since this broke down, there would be a lot of shorters in this area, so I didn't want to screw up my plan. I didn't want to get greedy, so I sold most of it as it came back up here. You can see on the 5-second chart, it came up, came back down. This is where I was break even, and I had a tight stop. If it had to come down under here towards the lows, I would have stopped out. It would have been 8 cents maybe. I would have lost probably about $200, and then that would have been that. But my plan was not to do that. My plan was to hold up towards here. So I started selling up in here, and then I sold the last 1,000, I think, or something down in here. Excuse me. So the point is that I got most of it out at my plan. I thought maybe this could get higher and squeeze out the shorts, but I didn't want to bank on that. So I only held a piece. I held it, and I had a stop in profit. And sure enough, this ended up working out to the short side because that was the setup. The setup was short. So most of the time, it will work out to the short side. And then once we got under these lows, everyone who's trapped, everyone who didn't sell from yesterday, they start taking profit. The death line, as they call it, was right here. Right around this level, 325. If you put it just down here, you can see it. After that, it was game over. Big volume, absolutely game over, into a halt. It dropped like $1 per share. That would have been a 6 short, but I can't short it there. And definitely not a long. So I wasn't longing it in there. I was just only longing it for the very quick plan in there. So that was NBY. I had JAGX as well. Oh man, JAGX is a really good lesson in holding a piece. If the frickin' chart would show up. JAGX. So, JAGX, immense patience. This level from the daily, this gap, the high, oh no, not there. The low of the gap fill is 1139. So I put in 1139. I just waited. It touched it. I tried to get it on the bid. I couldn't get in on the bid, so I just smashed the ask with 200 shares. And I wanted to sell up towards this pivot of around 1260. So it came up. I sold 150 shares here. I actually had my 50 share piece, but I thought that we would come up to VWAP, fail, and head lower. I shouldn't have done that. I should have had this piece. It was 50 shares. I can show you in here. 50 shares. 50 shares right here. Right here. Or right here. 50 shares. 1280. 1280 is where I sold them. I should have had that to like break even or the move higher, because sometimes this happens. And I would have captured 1, at least $2 per share. Well, $3 from the entry. So on $50, that's $150 extra, or around $100 extra on this trade. I should have held a piece. That is a very valuable lesson in why you should hold a piece. So I learned from that. Didn't touch it other than that. CTRV. Now, CTRV was a very, very quick trade. The only time I saw it here was, like, the only level that I could risk off of that I found after this move was the halt level. So the halt level was 1351. This only makes sense if we go down to the 5-second chart. So what I was doing, and I would not recommend this for beginners, is when it opened, it surged, but it hadn't come down to 1350 yet. So when it came back down to 1350, I was buying. I think I bought, what is a CTRV? CTRV 500 shares. CTRV. I guess a total of 500 shares. And then when it came, let me see, CTRV. Yeah, 500 shares. So 500 shares. I think it was in 2 separate lots. That's why, like, the spreads were crazy on this. So when I was buying on the ask, it didn't fill me all at the one price. That doesn't make any sense, though. I don't know why the candles are separated. Anyways, I was buying as it came back down into the level. And when it surged through, the spread here was like 1440 by 14, or just something absolutely insane. I don't know if it's here. CTRV. Let me find CTRV. I think I might have traded it on my other monitor. Yeah, so CTRV. Yeah, I don't have it here. So I had to, like, I wanted to just sell on the bid and lock it in. But by the time I sold it on the bid and locked it in, it was only 10, 15 cents higher. So it sold right here. Now, if I'd have just held the position on the ask, I would have gotten filled in the 1430s and been up like $300 on this. But I didn't want to suffer through this, which could have happened easily right here, and then we go down right here without this squeeze. So I was protecting myself against that, because at this point I would have been down $500, and then it reopens and I'm down $900, and then, yeah, sure, it comes back up to high a day, but I wouldn't have been able to hold through that. And if I'd have held through that, that means I would have been following my plan. So let's get on to the important one, the futures. Some really awesome progress today. I finally can accept that I'm wrong. At least I did today. So I was looking for the short here on this level. The level on the SPY was 290, and so I was shorting into it. We came under it, we broke under it. I was showing a lot of patience, and I was shorting into the level. I think this was like 5, 5, 5, and 5 in terms of how many contracts I had. And then once I hit $100 max loss, ooh, actually we can watch this one. Okay, so at this point I only had 10 contracts. And when I hit $100, I stopped out. You know, I didn't hold. I didn't do that thing where I go, oh, it might hit another level right here in reverse. I started selling once I hit $100 max loss. You know, you can see I'm a little bit over it right now. And by the time I sold with slippage and everything, $121. And then and then it works out without me. That is the pain sometimes of discipline. And I would rather have this pain and then re-short it like I did, rather than have this be the one that goes to high a day and you're holding, and you blow up your account. And I've done that before. I've done that before so many times. The reason for my red days is because I do stuff like that. And I would rather, I'm learning that I would rather miss the trades and have this happen and laugh about it and look for a re-entry and follow my plan, rather than hold on outside of my plan, where sometimes it will work, even most of the time it might work, and then sometimes you blow up your account. See, look at this. It's working out without me. I'm not touching it. I'm not chasing it. it's really hard to do that. It's honestly really hard to do it. So I'm looking to reshort again at the same level, because I think we go above it, we come under it, we come up to it, and then we're going to fail. So I only got 5 contracts there because it didn't come up quite to my level. So I only have 5 here. Now we get another squeeze into that area, and I add a little bit early. I'm still working on this. You know, I could have gotten a better entry if I had just waited and it had to come up here. But again, I'm just accepting. See, look at this. Look, it came all the way up. And I was accepting $100 risk again. If you can see here, I was never down $100. So I'm accepting the risk of the trade, and I'm stopping it when I need to. And then, of course, this trade ends up working out. I'm not selling early. I'm actually re-shorting it more in here. I'm trying to hit full size. And I eventually hit full size. So I eventually hit full size. I'm never down more than $100. Okay? It went up to like $30 or $40. But I was never down more than $100. Now, this trade worked out. But if this had gone up and squeezed a little bit and then stopped me out and then went to the lows, kind of like this did, I would have said that this isn't the level. I shouldn't have been reshorting here. So it's kind of difficult to say, was this good or not? Because this worked out, but you know, next time it might not work out and I would stop out. So as long as I obey the risk, that's all that matters. So it comes down. I start covering under these lows in here because I missed this cover, and then I want to sell a little bit more as we come down to this level. So it flushes. Or I don't take any more off, do I? Right, so as it hits lows again, I'm starting to take one contract off, another contract off. And here's where it gets messy. This is my average, right here, well above this line. And I think this is a very important line because it shows the first kill candles, it shows the first breakdowns. I think it has to come up and retest it. So I'm adding too early. If you watch my average, see it's right here? Watch it go down. See, now my average is down here because I'm adding. I'm adding more, and watch the average come down. The average, look at that. Now I'm full size again, but the average is way too close to the important level so that I don't give it enough wiggle room. So if you'll see here, when it comes back up, I stop out literally at the exact top. I stop out. The exact top, I get stopped out. I think it was $60, or we can look. 47, so like $50 I got stopped out for. And then it reversed. And it went, and my plan worked out. It went all the way to the lows. And this would have been a like $400 trade or something at least. So very important lessons. This doesn't look that exciting, but this is where the nitty-gritty specifics come in. I either had to not add so early, that, not add at all, or accept $100 risk per trade. I only accepted $50. If I had my stop up here at $100, I would have been fine. So there's 3 separate avenues to work on, and I know that they all need work. Like any of those would have been okay. Usually I like to re-add, as you can see right here, and I was adding a little early. The level was up here. If I had added everything up there, then I would have been a little bit closer to not getting stopped out because my average would have been... You can see when I added here, my average just dropped from here to about here. Watch it right there. See the difference in those averages? And then it just gets lower and lower. So that's a really good explanation for that. And my average was lower than it should have been because these ads right here were not stellar. So there's a lot of stuff in there to work on, and I hope that I broke that down effectively, or in a way that you guys can understand, or that just a way that's easily understandable. Because you look at this chart and you might just say, oh, 6 short, sick ad, and then sick covers, but you don't really then understand why a trade like this wouldn't work out, or how you can work on it for next time, like a consistent way to work on it for next time. So I think what I'm gonna do is just keep exercising my patience, because it is difficult for me to just wait or not take the trade, and I'm getting better at it. This is much better than before, but maybe I shouldn't have even been adding in here, because it never came up to this level, and I should have had more size in here, and I can't be adding in here because then my average would be higher, and then these ads would not have kicked me out of the trade right here. And then of course also work on these ads and try and get them higher up at a better level. I hope that made sense. That was a lot of words, a lot of sentences. You know, I reshorted it again, and then I covered at the lows. Just my typical stuff. I'm not going to go over that, because I don't think that's as important as that lesson right there. And I don't want to make this video too long or annoying, so we'll leave it there. Great day, of course. So, I don't know what else to say. Thank you guys for subscribing. Hit that subscribe button. Ask me anything about this. Anything like, oh, why would you do this? Or why would you add? Or why did you cover? Any question at all, seriously. Put them down there. I get back to every single person. Or you can join the Discord and ask me personally. This is my name, Tom, on the Discord. We're just sharing charts. A lot of people are sharing a lot of different things. We were calling this move on the SPY the whole time. Like, I was talking about like gap fill. I was talking about the 40s reshort. If we go to the SPY, the 40s, the reshort into the 40s right here before this fail, it was great. So I'll shut up. We'll see you guys later. Peace.